Hey guys, it's Justine, and today I wanted to show you my unboxing desk setup and some of my favorite gear and lenses that I use to make my videos. Now you guys are always asking about what I use, so I'm so excited to share this with you. But first, I wanted to thank IBM for sponsoring this portion of this video. IBM believes what businesses need to drive progress is creativity. Because of that, they're focused on celebrating the thought leaders who are the driving force behind unlocking creativity in business. Now normally, when I think about creators, I tend to think about artists or content creators like myself, or even musicians. But what IBM is doing is bringing to the forefront the visionaries who are creatively applying technology in business to drive change. They are calling them the new creators. And this term applies to IT leaders, developers, experienced designers, data scientists, enterprise designers, CTOs, and so many others who are using technology as a tool to create new world-changing ideas. Now, as a creator myself, I absolutely loved hearing the stories from some of these amazing people doing such incredible things. This is so important because just technology itself won't bring the systemic change that businesses and society needs. It needs actual, real people with ideas to create these better ways of working. I loved learning about one of the IBM new creators, Renata Petrovic, who works for a Brazilian bank, Bradesco. There, she is connecting the bank to external business and innovation opportunities through the Brazilian entrepreneurship ecosystem. One of my favorite things that I learned that she is doing there is working with AI to personalize and serve their customers on a large scale. With over 70 million clients, their main struggle was trying to make sure that they are serving them in an efficient capacity. So, using AI, it's possible to categorize customer questions, make relationships, and return in a very short time to answer the client's questions. For her, she said that technology is a tool, and being able to understand the client's pain and solve it with evolving technology is the goal. If you want to learn more about new creators, I'll put a link in the description to check out IBM on YouTube. Thank you again to IBM for sponsoring that portion of this video. So some of you guys may have been on my creator journey since the very beginning. I have been making YouTube videos here on YouTube since 2006. When I think about how long that is, it actually is just mind-blowing. Like, my channel is actually older than some people watching this video right now. And when I think about that, I don't even know how to feel, because I definitely struggled growing up. I never really knew like what my place was. What I liked to do was always different than what all of my friends liked. So the fact that I was into computers and I loved playing video games and I just loved all the tech nerdy things. Not a lot of people back then liked that, and it didn't really feel like it was cool, but I'm definitely so glad that I stuck with what I loved, because that love has turned into a passion for creating. And when I first started making YouTube videos, I was honestly making videos just on my computer and using the webcam. Like, I was using nothing else. So it's wild to think where I started and where I am right now, sitting in my very own studio with all of the gear that I could have ever dreamed of. I'm so happy and so excited to finally kind of show you this little setup. And this is kind of just our one simple setup that we have. This is kind of my unboxing desk. And this was actually supposed to be a temporary setup, but since we've set it up and I've been using it for so long, I actually kind of really dig the simplistic look. It kind of takes me back to the old days when I first started making videos and I had a white background, but now we have some upgraded gear. So I wanted to show you kind of what the studio looks like and all of the gear that I've been using. And again, let's remember, this was not something that I have accomplished overnight. I did not get this gear just like that. This is many, many years of hard work and saving up to be able to have all of the things that I have today. So I'm super excited to show you what our unboxing setup looks like now. So to start, my sister and I also have a podcast that we've kind of been slacking on, but don't worry, it'll be back, and I'm so excited about it because we actually do use the same desk setup for our podcast. We do have a podcast room that was going to be a podcast room, but now it is overflow storage. So as soon as I get that cleared out, the podcast will have a home. But what I do is I have a little microphone stand on each side that I'll pop up here, and then we have a roadcaster that's basically sitting right in front of me that we just pop right here into the front so that we can control the audio, and we use the same camera that is looking at me. You're looking at me seeing how you're, you know what I mean. This camera right here. And speaking of cameras, right now is kind of a little more of aggressive shoot because we actually are using 4 cameras, because I wanted to show you kind of the behind the scenes, what everything looks like. There it is. And for this one, we're using the A7 IV, and this is the 16-35 lens. I really like this lens a lot because you can get just enough zoom, but you can also get some nice wide angle shots. which is super, super fun. Now this one right here is our main camera, and this is the A7S III with the 50mm lens on it. I used to use the 24-70, but once we swapped to this 50mm, the crispiness, it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. And hooked up to that, we have a little XLR hot shoe there, and normally we'll sometimes have a shotgun mic, but I use these wireless AVX microphones. I have tried to find something better, but I just love them so much. I love them so much I actually just bought another set of them. They have survived so much. They have survived weather, they have survived so many drops, so I don't know how they've managed to do whatever kind of magic that they're doing, but it's definitely working for me. I just hope that they upgrade it because it needs to have USB-C. It's been driving me crazy. They still have micro USB, so Sennheiser AVX, let's get an upgrade to these because they're amazing and I want them to be better. So we have a couple other cameras as well. This is also the A7S III, and we usually use the 24-70 lens here. Gives you kind of a nice little zoom if I need to zoom in, but there's also enough focal length that I can bring things up close so that you're able to see. I recently did just get a new lens for up here, and it is the new 24-70 G Master 2, and it is I think that it might be my most favorite lens ever. Like, this lens is so perfect. It's basically the same size as the 16-35. Can I see that real quick? Okay, there it is, there it is. It's about the same size, and I think it actually might even be lighter. Like, it's wild how incredible this lens is. So this one is actually Jake's camera here. There you go. And here's my A7 IV, which has that same 24-70 G Master lens. This is the first version. This is the second one. I mean, just look at the size difference. I cannot say enough great things about this lens. It's perfect. So I've been using the A7 IV a lot more for doing kind of like out and about shoots, and we use it a lot for photos. Mostly right now, we used to use the A7S III when we go out and about, but those we kind of have left static, so they're now kind of like our still cameras right here that we just leave in the studio and do not touch at all costs. Do not move the cameras. And then over here is a new little addition, and most of the time when I'm shooting by myself, it's super easy because I can just hit record on these two cameras, come sit down. But when I have help, and Jake is actually over here shooting, manning our third camera, 1, a 2, oops, I hit it, and a 3. So this is his FX3, and you've got the Tamron 35-150mm lens on, which is great for super close-up shots. And you also have right now the small HD little display there, which is kind of cool because he can also flip that around so I can see what he sees. Look at that. It's magic, you know. Okay, and then over here, my friends, we've got 2 Atomos Ninja monitors. Now, I used to use these a lot more because we would actually record directly onto these with solid state drives when I used to shoot with the A7 S2s because they had a recording limit. So with this, we could record forever. So I used to use those a lot, but now I basically just use them for monitoring, and this is super helpful when I'm shooting by myself. Okay, Jake, here you go. There you are. There you go. There you go. And then the last camera that I've been super into, this is the A1. Now this thing is an absolute beast. Like, this shoots 8K, and it's also so incredible for low light photography. And the lens that I have on here is the 12-24. This is actually a really incredible lens. I don't really use it enough because I feel like a lot of times we usually just stick with that 24-70 because when you're run gun on the go, that one is always the best. But this is great for static shots. It's also great for some landscape photography if you're trying to get a wide view. Now the A1 is interesting because it does shoot 8K. I don't shoot all of my content in 8K, but I do like shooting sometimes up close detail shots, product shots, because I'm able to shoot them in 8K, and I can obviously downsample it to 4K, but you still get that extra crop factor. Because if you guys have watched my videos before, you know I love to do a little punch in, zoom, and with 8K, you don't really lose any quality at all. The last lens, which this was actually one that I used a couple years ago at Sony. They had this event, and after I used it, I immediately went home and bought it. It's the 1.8-135 G Master. I also used to use this lens a lot to get product shots and also to do thumbnail photos. You know those shots where I hold things out super far and then I'm completely blurred in the background? Oh yeah. This lens, so good for that. Look at this little friend. This is also nice because it is a 1.8. I do also like the lenses that have the click aperture. Another thing that happens in this little space is I will do a lot of different conference calls, so I actually will sometimes hook up this main camera right here to the A10 Mini. So with this, I will just plug this into my computer and I'll be able to switch between camera angles, which is kind of cool. So I can actually have all three of these camera angles hooked up to the A10 and I can switch between those. I did a live stream not too long ago where you guys may have seen I switched from the front camera to the top camera, and that's what we use to do that. Next up, right next to that is our Rodecaster. This is the new Rodecaster Pro 2. This just recently came out and this is what we record our podcast on. Our previous one has traveled all around the world. My sister and I take this thing everywhere. I throw it in my suitcase. It has a little clear cover on it, which makes it super easy to travel with. And then I just pack up the microphones and you go. You don't even need a computer or anything. Like, this is it. You can record, you can do all kinds of vocal effects with the new version, and you basically have an entire recording studio in this small little device. It's pretty awesome. Also, when I do conference calls, I have this little teleprompter here, which you can kind of see it. Which is cool about this is not only can I use it for a teleprompter to make sure I'm reading specs correctly, but I can also use this when I put a tablet on it to do conference calls, because I can flip the video and it will look like I'm actually looking directly at the person because they'll be reflected into that glass mirror. So they will think that I'm looking right at them, which I guess I am, but I'm looking directly at them through the camera. So not only is this great for a prompter, but it's also really great for that as well. And here we are with all of the lights. Now behind me, I actually have 3 lights. I have this little like hair light, kind of top down light, which is the light mat. And I've had this for a really long time. I absolutely love it. And there's 2 Nanlite Pavo tubes that we have back here. And these can actually be changed for various different colors. So sometimes you'll see me use these all around the studio in various different scenarios, and we always change the colors, usually to a nice little pink, but they're super fun and super portable, and they also remind me of lightsabers, so that makes me very, very happy. Now in front of me, I've got a bunch of lights actually. We have this one here, which is actually my friend Tyler's, and he's like, yeah, I'll come back and get it, and he hasn't gotten it yet. This is the Godox SL60W. And Tyler, if you want it back, like, it's here, I'm using it, but you know, just let me know. And then up here we have the Aputure 120D. I love Aputure lights, and over here we have another one. This is the Amaran 200D. I use this one so often because I half the time don't even put any type of dome on it. I just use this and I wheel it around the office because it has wheels on it, and I just kind of bounce it off of places that need some light. Like right here, I'm lighting up the hallway so it's not too dark over there. And then last but not least, this is my latest purchase that I just got. This is the Aputure 600D. This thing is so freaking beautiful, so powerful, and this one we kind of use in various different setups and kind of move it around as we need to. It's also kind of crazy because I don't want to say that I built this studio, but I was in here when there was actually nothing. There was just, I mean, it was being built. So I'm like the first occupant of it. I did have a little bit of say where kind of outlets and stuff were placed. So it was really fun to kind of see this from the beginning to where it is now. And this is still, I feel like, a temporary setup. So at some point I will be redoing it, but I've been so happy with the setup and it's been working. Something else that's also kind of important are a bunch of C-stands. And when I first started, I was not using C-stands at all. I was using like these really flimsy light stands. C-stands are absolutely a game changer, I must say. And then we also have another tripod here, which is Jake's. This is the Ozen Agile 10, which is really great. We've been using this third camera. It's been so fun for unboxings to kind of be able to get some extra shots that I may miss on the top down or that it's too far away over here. So you can get those nice close-up shots. And here's all of the cameras that we use here in the studio. This right here is the Sony a7 IV. This is the a7S III, a7S III. This is the a7 IV, A1, a7S III, and this over here is the FX3. Okay, now these, check them out. These lights are so great. Look at that. Oh, we got a nice green happening. Look at this, oh my, wait, why are we not doing this all the time? It looks so good. This is so fun. Oh my God, why, it looks so good. I'm freaking out. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Like, I knew they changed colors, but we always left them white back there because I wanted it to be super crisp. And now that I'm seeing this, oh boy, we might have a new color for the next video. So this is the view that I see on the Atomos Ninjas. It's so good. It's so good. I do have a couple other setups as well, but this is the unboxing desk, so if you would like to see some of the other setups, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, please also leave some comments and hopefully I can answer those for you. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video, but if you haven't checked it out already, I have a bunch more videos right here in the end screen, so go check those out. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.